What's good? Here's the silver guy, and I'm back. Alright, so this is what we were talking about, Roosevelt with the gold, and so now we're going to, this will explain silver's role in everything, and what they'll do. So, desperate governments, desperate things, this is what's going to happen. So, let's get started.
The U.S. government took people's gold in 1933 with the stroke of a pen. No warning, no debate, just a signature. Imagine waking up one day and your most trusted asset is no longer yours. Not because you lost it, but because the government took it by law.
And see, they can use laws, but the, a lot of that was executive orders. Executive orders have the force of law, but can be overturned by the Supreme Court or stuff like that. But yeah, the the national security will always be an excuse for them. Uh, let's keep going.
Fast forward to today, silver has just been declared a strategic mineral by the United States government. That means it's no longer just an industrial metal or a precious metal. It's a strategic national resource tied to the power grid, the military, national defense, and every clean energy promise the government ever made. In a national emergency, strategic doesn't mean protected. It means prioritized. It means controlled. They won't need a new law. They won't knock on your door. They'll simply announce they're changing the rules, and your silver could go from private property to a public resource. Just like that. Frozen, flagged, seized. Not because you did anything wrong, but because the system decided it needs your silver in the name of national security. And here's the part most people miss. It won't come with a press conference. It'll start with a declaration you never hear coming. A clause buried on page 1913 of a bill no one read. And if you think it can't happen...
The crazy part. Remember what Pelosi said, that we got to pass the bill to see what's in it. And it sounds like she was wanting some bread. And she wanted that... her stocks to start moving up, insider trading. So there's a lot going on behind the scenes with this that we don't see it. We don't see it at all.
Or that silver is somehow immune because it's an industrial metal, then you haven't been paying attention. Because if silver is now considered critical to national...
To me, silver's got the best properties out of any precious metal. It's a war metal, it's a industrial metal, and of course, why do we do this? Because it's money. And this is good. This is good. But we're in a silver shortage now. So the shortage is here. So we've been in this shortage for a while. I mean, a while. Let's keep going.
Security, then you need to ask yourself, what does that mean for the people who own it? Let's talk about it. By the way, I'm Noah Lorenzana. This video is for educational and entertainment purposes.
I forgot to give him a shout out. You should subscribe to his channel. He's pretty smart. Yeah. So shout out to Noel. I'm not gonna butcher his last name. So let's enjoy the video.
Purposes only. This is not financial or investment advice. The gold confiscation of 1933. In 1933, the US government did something unthinkable. It confiscated gold from its own American citizens. President Franklin Delano Roosevelt signed Executive Order 6102, making it...
They, I guess, really they didn't have credit, and they needed credit, so that's why they did all this.
illegal for Americans to own gold, coins, bullion, or certificates. They said the reason was to stabilize the banking system and combat the Great Depression. If you had more than $100 in gold and didn't turn it in, you were now considered a criminal. Penalties included up to 10 years in prison and a $10,000.
Yeah, $10,000 fine if you didn't turn in the gold, but you see the inflation calculation. That's how much that is. And this executive order is still there. It didn't go away.
Fine, which is over $200,000 in today's dollars. And guess what the government did with that gold? They revalued it. After collecting it from law-abiding citizens at $20.67 per ounce, they revalued it to $35 per ounce overnight. That's a 69% devaluation of your dollar right in plain sight. They didn't need to break into homes or send troops door to door. They didn't need to.
This was really easy for them to do that, because see, they put a gun to your head and you went by the law. But what they did was illegal. What you were doing wasn't. They just F-boy stuff. That's what I call it.
Compliance did the job. And why does this matter today? Because it shows that confiscation doesn't require force. It just needs a financial crisis, a national emergency, and the right narrative. And now silver might just be on that same path. Silver reclassified from industrial to strategic. Most people think of silver as just an industrial metal, but recently that's changed. Silver was recently added to the US critical minerals list, and that's a big deal. Why? Because this list isn't about jewelry or coins or industrial needs. It's about national security. Silver is now considered essential for America's economy and defense. And you already know how essential silver is. That demand isn't slowing down. We already know there's a structural deficit. The world has been consuming more silver than it produces for at least 5 years and counting. The Silver Institute has confirmed this. And if a geopolitical crisis were to hit, or if the US needed emergency access to critical metals, do you really think the government would ignore privately owned silver? They didn't ignore gold in 1933.
No, they didn't.
And today's silver is arguably even more important than gold ever was. Think about it.
See, yeah, he's right about that. Because, see, it took a ton of silver to make the Manhattan Project. It took a ton of it. Just to test the bomb. And, you know, when they dropped them two on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, that was also, you know, a silver. It got blown up. There it went. Yeah, silver gets destroyed. It doesn't get, it doesn't get recycled. I mean, it does, but it's not worth pulling the silver out of your iPhone or anything right now. But a lot of our silver sits in landfills, gets blown up, gets it pretty much, to me, it looks like it's abused. And this stacking it was a hobby of mine for probably 15 years, and I recently quit buying last year. I quit buying because I bought up a bunch of it last year at the beginning of the year while it was still in the 30s, and then it started moving up, and it's been up and away since. So yeah, that's crazy.
History shows they've done it before and could do it again. People think silver confiscation has never happened in America, but that's simply not true. It has happened, and not just once. Let's start with 1934. Everyone knows about FDR's gold seizure in 1933, but a year later, he passed Executive Order 6814.
You can Google all this. So, this is what I was talking about what pertains to silver, what executive order was for silver. So, all these executive orders are still there. They are still there. So,
which authorized the federal government to seize silver held by private citizens and businesses in exchange for 50 cents an ounce. The U.S. Treasury was ordered to take all domestic silver stocks not needed for industry and hand them over to the government. They called it a national silver program, but it was confiscation just the same. And this wasn't even the first time. Back in 1873, Congress quietly passed the Coinage Act of 1873, and overnight, silver was no longer money. They didn't need to kick down doors or physically seize.
Yeah, they didn't. They didn't do any of that. They just demonetized it, and I hate that term because demon. Yeah.
Silver from its citizens. Instead, they changed the law, making it illegal to mint new silver dollars, and also they could no longer be exchanged at the U.S. Mint. Silver still existed, but it had no official role in the U.S. monetary system anymore. While silver made a brief return to coinage after public outcry, it was ultimately phased out again in 1965. That's what people mean when they say confiscation by policy. You didn't lose your silver coins, but you lost their value as money. The silver miners in western states were furious.
Yeah, they just think about all the people that held silver as their money, and these are farmers, these are average working people. See, silver is the poor man's gold, uh, and this is what caused a lot of the panics that happened in the 1870s, going all the way up to the 1900s, up to creation of the Federal Reserve too. But anyway, see, the bankers are the ones that did all this. They should have just left silver the way it was. And sorry for the background noise.
They called it the crime of 73. Fast forward to the 1960s, the US government quietly removed silver from US money. Starting with the Coinage Act of 1965, dimes and quarters were stripped of real silver and replaced with cheap copper and nickel slugs. It wasn't a raid, it wasn't a seizure, but the value was taken just the same. The silver didn't disappear, it was simply phased out by law. And once again, most people didn't even notice or even care. That's how confiscation looks like when done by silver-tongued politicians wearing a nice suit and tie. Pun intended. When they change the rules, your wealth can vanish. Now think about this.
They can do that.
All three of those.
That's crazy that they can just change rules of the game and everything to match whatever they want to do. But it affects everyone. And the 1873, the Coinage Act of 1873 was showed that it it wiped a lot of people out. That it really did. And if you held gold, you were basically fine. But if you held silver, you didn't. You weren't good. You lost a lot. And this is what I was saying about that road to Peruta. He says it goes all the way back to this time period right here, and 160 years worth of price suppression. So I mean, that's it caused so much inflation just by doing that. So you can't mess with silver like this. See, silver's your gold's your skeleton and silver's your blood. And I mean, if you cut yourself, what happens? You bleed. You bleed. So we didn't cut ourselves. We gashed ourselves, put it that way, and we've been squirting it out ever since then. But no, if you if you do stuff like this is pretty much how your empire will eventually fall. And we've had three central banks in our history. Andrew Jackson's the one that got rid of the second one. This is our third central bank right here. He didn't like central banks because, you know, centralized means control. And if you control a nation's currency or their money or anything, it doesn't matter who makes the laws, because the people that make the laws are going to bend over. You know what I mean? They're going to bend over for whoever's got the money. And this is an example of that.
Examples didn't require door-to-door raids. They didn't need to send troops to your home. They just changed the rules and the silver was taken from you. So let me ask you, if we had a national emergency today, one that made silver critical to defense or energy, do you honestly believe they wouldn't do it again?
Oh yeah.
The truth is the mechanism already exists.
Yeah, they totally would do it again, because see, them laws right there would totally show you that they'll do it, and they'll do it, and they won't care about you or anybody. I mean, you know, what did I say? I was like that. Whoever's got the money, makes the rules. So the bankers had the money, J.P. Morgan, and this was the actual J.P. Morgan. You know, he bailed us out in the 1910s. This is why we got the Federal Reserve, is because of that. He had to bail out the federal government. And that's a lot of power to have, to be able to bail out a government. And that's a lot of control you can have over a government.
Exists. The Defense Production Act gives the federal government sweeping emergency powers.
I forget about this act right here too. Sometimes, so if Donald Trump enacts the Defense Production Act on silver, that means it's got to be repriced. You got to reprice it. It can't be $100. It really can't be. The U.S. Mint, I've heard over the weekend, or they changed the price again. Look, if we go to the U.S. Mint's website, we're gonna make sure this works out first. U.S. Mint, and let's see. Hold up, we're looking. Let's go shop. See, they changed the price of their Eagle, and I think this is like uncirculated proofs and everything, but they changed the prices to $169 over, I guess, this was brought to my attention yesterday. I seen it, and I was going to do some videos yesterday, but there's a lot going on, and I had to collect the information and all that, but this is what they did. They increased the price from $100 to $169 for that one. There's a 2025, $173. See, they're having problems getting silver blanks to make these coins right here. So, yeah, let's continue with that.
Over strategic and critical materials. Silver was recently declared as strategic by the U.S. And buried deep in 1,000-page laws are clauses that can be triggered under national security.
When they make laws like that, like with thousands and thousands and thousands of pages, because they know nobody's going to read that, for one, and there's a lot of things that get added in there as it goes through, you know, congressional oversight. So they'll change up a lot of stuff. They'll change it up, but best interest of the friends. The friends matter more than me, you, anybody. Who you think the politicians are bending over in front of for? It's not for us. They're not bending over for us. They're actually leaving us with a bill, and they're the ones. They're bending over, but they're making sure they give it to us even harder than they're taking it.
or climate
Backache, sir.
emergency justifications with barely any public oversight. They wouldn't call
Barely.
it confiscation, they'd call it
And
mobilization.
that's a big understatement right there. Barely public oversights over any of this, because they do it behind your back. What I say about when they refinanced the debt and put everybody's property up on there, they did it behind our backs. They'll do it behind our backs. They don't have any backbone or nothing like that. They don't have anything. They don't have no nerve, no backbone. I mean, uh, you could say shaking my head, but no, it's not that. It's shaking my effing head, and it's ridiculous. They don't represent us, so they represent friends. No broke friends in politics. You just don't have broke friends. You period. You just don't have broke friends. How many politicians you know that are broke? And because the other thing about the insider trading, they don't want to get rid of that insider trading. They benefit from that. So they benefit a tremendous amount from insider trading, because you'll walk in there and you won't have any money, and when you leave Congress, you'll walk out with millions and millions and millions of dollars, and that's for campaign contributions. Like, the thing that irritates me about the campaign contributions is, during all the during the election cycles that we have and all that, what happens to that money when the election's over with? Where does it go? Like, do they keep it? Answer that question for me in the comments. Who knows? Who knows this? Because I would like to know what happens to all the money. Because they could be doing plenty of things with that campaign money. They could put towards the debt. I mean, but nobody's talking about that. And see, the debt's not going to be a problem until it becomes a problem, and then it's going to be dealt with austerity, and it's going to be dealt with in a violent way. It's not going to be dealt with in a civil way. They're going to do it violently, because see, we're broke. We don't have anything, and I think the world knows that too. Basically, is we're broke. We're a broke nation. And but yeah, that debt's not going to be a problem until it becomes a problem. Currency crisis, sovereign debt crisis. It's not going to be what would you call it, like a housing crisis. It's not going to be that. It's going to be government credit is going to be the issue. Government treasuries are going to be the issue. Anybody holding printed dollars is going to be left holding this big bag too. And see, at least we ain't got to tote all of our cash around in a wheelbarrow. At least we got a phone, and we ain't got to tote all that cash. But what did Elon Musk say? He said, it's not going to be how much dollars you have. It's going to be basically how much wattage you have, and that's what's going to matter. This is leading to that cryptocurrency. I'm not a big fan of Elon Musk, but I feel like he told the truth about, when he did that Doge thing last year, and everybody should have known that wasn't going to be a thing, and it wasn't a thing. But he exposed a lot of the corruption from the government and what they pay for magic money printers and all that. 7 computers, I think he said he found with that was just printing money out of thin air. So and Jeff's list and all that. He said that Trump was in it, and that's why they ain't released it yet. And see, they ain't really released anything because it's damning. It's really damning. And, like, it puts them, it makes them look really bad. And see, and I believe that about all the blackmail that he had. It can topple governments too because the trust thing. There's nothing there. Okay, continue.
Or emergency nationalization. But the result would be the same. Your silver would be illegal to own. And let's be honest, if the stakes were high enough, war, energy crisis, grid collapse, all bets are off. The emergency powers are already in place. Let me be 100% clear.
And
the legal
and
framework to
see, China knew that. They knew that. They knew that they were. We were going to add it to our strategic list. That's why they knew this. They already knew this because they said that we were putting exports controls on us January the 1st, which is 60% of the supply of silver to the world, and then I guess like a week later we put it on our strategic metals reserve, and so that's where the $50 floor come from.
See, silver already exists. We don't have to imagine some dramatic law being passed overnight. It's already there.
We'll never in our lifetimes ever see $50 silver ever again. We won't never see $10 silver. We'll never see $15 silver. We'll never see 25, 34. We'll never see none of them prices ever again either. So,
buried in plain sight, inside 1,000-page bills most lawmakers didn't even read. For example, the Defense Production Act, which gives the president the authority to requisition property, prioritize contracts, and allocate materials deemed critical for national defense. And guess what material was recently added to the government's strategic mineral list? That's right, silver. That alone opens the door, but it doesn't stop there. Under various emergency declarations, the government can invoke special powers hidden in the Patriot Act under economic threats, the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, the Stafford Act under disaster declarations, and new legislation like the CHIPS Act, Inflation Reduction Act, and green energy bills that grant material seizure authority in times of supply disruption. We're not talking about some future possibility. We're talking about codified authority, already passed laws, just waiting for a justification. And history tells us, in a crisis, powers get used, whether you like it or not. So you need to ask yourself, if we hit a monetary crisis, a war, or a supply chain shock in energy or defense, and silver is mission critical, do you really think they'd hesitate? Of course not. Not when they are.
That goes to that austerity thing. They'll be very extreme about it. I mean, crisis. Don't let a good crisis go to waste because they'll take extreme measures over it. And sometimes it wouldn't call for that, but you can't let a good crisis go to waste. 2001, or was it September the 11th? Patriot Act, where they pretty much can do whatever they want. They took a dump on the Fourth Amendment right there with the Patriot Act. And see, that's the thing, when they name these acts right here, it always does the opposite of what the name of the act is. So if they do this, yeah.
Already have the authority, not when they can say it's for the good of the country, because if it's declared essential to national security, then all bets are off. That's the uncomfortable truth. Could you make silver untraceable, hypothetically speaking? Now, let's be clear. I'm not telling anyone what to do. This is not financial or legal advice, but I already know the questions that are going to pop up in the comment section. If silver confiscation is even remotely possible, how could you protect it? So let's walk through this as a thought experiment. If, big if, the government ever did move to seize silver, the key challenge would be tracking it down. Unlike stocks, bank accounts, or digital currency, physical silver is mostly anonymous, unless you leave a paper trail or even a social media trail. So, hypothetically, here's how someone might minimize traceability. Buy silver with cash, not a credit card, not a bank wire, no third party payment apps, just good old fashioned cash money, face to face. Buy from private individuals, not large bullion dealers that are required to collect customer data or issue 1099s in some cases. Try to avoid shipping records. If you buy online and have it shipped, guess what? That purchase is now trackable. So maybe in-person buys only.
This is, well, you know how honesty isn't there. You can lie. You can straight up lie to them and say, "Oh, well, I don't have that no more." It's not like they can come in your house and search your house for everything you got. They do have to at least go by some type of laws. Or yeah, I mean the people wouldn't stand for them. This is goes back to the reasoning for the revolution too, because they made all the people take care of the British troops. Like the British troops were going to be able to live, come to your house and just stay at your house, and they didn't like that at all. So this is basically where the Fourth Amendment come from.
But you need to watch out for scams. And don't talk about it. This is where people mess up. If you post online about your stack, brag to friends, or even mention it during a divorce, audit, family squabble, you've already created a trail. Store it privately, discreetly.
Do not.
No banks.
Whatever you do not do safety deposit boxes with stuff like this, because that bank can fail and it can shut its doors and you will never see your property ever again. You store it yourself. Do not let a bank do it, because yeah, the bank can be closed, and see, when FDIC takes over, or when it goes into receivership with the FDIC, they'll liquidate everything. Everything there will be liquidated, but they'll give you a check. But I mean, if people are putting like their families like rings, gold, silver, all that, money, cash, anything, it gets used as the bank's asset. See, when you put money in the bank, you're an unsecured creditor of that bank. And see, we got bail-in laws now. The Glass-Steagall Act, I think that's what it is. I can't remember if it's that one, but they can, if a bank fails, they can take everybody's deposits and give you worthless shares of the bank that failed. So yeah, do not store nothing in a bank. That is the most important thing that you need to know. Do not put this in the bank, because that's the first thing. If the bank fails, you'll just lose everything. And there's no, see what I was saying about the honesty. There's theft. That's theft. That's straight up theft. And we're supposed to have FDIC insurance for the protection of the deposits and everything, not for the bank to be reckless. And that's what happened is 2008, when we bailed out all them banks, and GM and Ford and all that. See, the funny thing about Ford is, I think GM and Ford, when they went bankrupt, I think they took all their pensions. I think. I can't remember. I'd have to look that up. But I think I've heard where everybody lost their pension and all that. George Carlin hit a lot of this on the head. He it's a big old club and we're not in it, and they'll show you we're not in the club.
Safe deposit boxes, no storage facilities that require ID or log your access. We're talking about old school, bury it in a coffee can kind of mindset. Use multiple hiding spots, not all in one place. think redundancy. Buy a shovel, think concealment. And most of all, don't tell anyone. Because in times of crisis, people talk, people panic, and unfortunately, people can betray. Now, let me say this again. This is all purely hypothetical, and frankly, it might not even be the right question to ask. The ethics of hoarding silver in a national crisis. If silver really does become crucial to national security, to produce energy, defense tech, or medical equipment in a time of war or disaster, maybe the question isn't how to hide it. Maybe the better question is, would you be willing to part with some of it or all of it if it meant protecting your country?
This question right here, this is a good one. This is a really good question. Um, well, yeah, yeah. I mean, you gotta have some type of patriotism, at least. You can't just hate the country as, uh, um, if it's for protection of us, yes, yes. You should want, because if you can't be, or you can't live somewhere if you ain't protected. That's just common sense. Like, you can't live in a world like what, see, everything's quiet, all that, hanging out, chilling. You can't do all that if you just like, well, forget them, and no, no, that's a very good question. Uh, it, would you answer it in the comments for me if I asked? Please answer it. Let's start you can start whatever. We can talk. Um, I will respond back to your comments in 2 seconds if you can answer that question. But my answer is yes, yes, definitely. It's our country. It's protection. But I would like to see what I'd like to see it. Show me the protection. Show me the crisis too. I need you to put you know put it out there. Be honest about it too. But yeah, if you want to answer the question, just answer it, and we'll go from there. But I will respond back to the comments. So
I'm not saying I trust the government to handle it fairly, and I'm not ignoring the abuses of the past. But if things ever got that bad, truly bad, maybe you'd have to make a hard decision. Silver is valuable because it's real, it's trusted.
they'll pay you for it. It's not like they're just gonna take it. They will pay you for it. But see, a lot of people that do this, the reason why they do this is to get away from cash, because that they don't that's the reason why they even buy silver in the first place, is to escape the system. But they will pay you for it, at least, like, you can pay your bills and stuff like that. You might be able to buy property with it eventually. Weimar Republic, people were taking an ounce of coin, a 1 ounce silver coin, and buying a whole block of land with it. Whole big pieces of land too. So if you held it, I mean, but yeah, that's the reason why people buy it, is to get away from the system uh, of debt, inflation, and a sovereign default. What and a default, it'd be probably three ways they would do it. They would honestly default and say we're not paying, and that's an honest default. Uh, they can be dishonest about it, or they can say, okay, we can't pay you this, but we can give you like what 50 cents on a dollar. At least that's another way of being honest. Or they can do it the dishonest way. They can inflate it away. So you get stuck with three choices for real. But if you look at any other empire, they went the path of the printing press, or in our case, it's going to be the path of the of the computer. button. You got money in your bank. LOL.
It's honest. And if a moment ever came where a country needed it, not for politics, but survival, what would you do? Look, I don't want to scare anyone, but I do want you to think.
These are very good questions. What would you do? I think I would do it in the case of protection. I'd definitely do it for protection. That's just the way it would be. If you can say somebody's invading right now, yeah, that would be a logical reason. But you're not giving me $100 for it though. That's for sure. Because, you know, the mint says $173 now, so what? I mean, you've seen it yourself. You can Google everything, and like these are fair questions. What would they do? What would you think they do? Honestly, and just say we're not paying. Try to pay you half or a third, or you know, something like that. Or do you think they would go the way of the printing press? And like we don't need anybody to say it, because we've seen this in the past too. Okay, so this is not nothing new.
Realistically, silver isn't just some poor man's gold anymore. It's becoming too important, too essential. And when something becomes essential to the system will do whatever it takes to control it. If you're stacking silver, if you believe in sound money, then you need to be aware of the possibility. Confiscation isn't likely anytime soon, but if the right crisis hits, war, grid failure, currency collapse, then all bets are off. The government has done it before, they can do it again. So be wise, be private, and be prepared. But let me know what you think in the comments. Do you believe silver confiscation is possible? And if needed, would you turn in your silver? And if you want to know about how gold could be revalued to $15,000 overnight, then you need to check out my video right up here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.
That was a good one, but answer the questions though. I mean, you'd have to be you'd have to take this have a logical thinking about this. But yeah, I'm gonna try to say his name, but Noel Lorenzana. Subscribe to his channel. He's pretty smart. But yeah, if you want to answer the questions, just what would you do if something like this come up? We can't say F the US because we live here, okay? That's not a logical reason to they've done a lot of bad stuff, I know, but also they do have to protect us. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video.